Jesus is just given us the Lord's Supper, feasting of his body and blood, and they're going to argue about who's the greatest in front of the most humble man on earth. They've been following him. They see how he treats people, how he treats them. And yet, they're going to argue and fight with one another about who's the greatest, who has the highest status, the highest position, or maybe authority over the other apostles. It's kind of hard to imagine that they would be so bold. It's hard for me to put myself in their shoes and do that, but I mean, we're all sinners, so I'm sure we definitely could in the right situation, right? But it's striking that the apostles are arguing with one another about who's the greatest. And they're approaching this very much in the way of the world. They're looking this like the lords and kings of the world do. It's about selfish power. It's about pride. It's about privilege. But Jesus corrects them. He calls them out pretty clearly and extremely, thankfully, some good correction here. That it's not about power, pride, and privilege. The kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and those in authority over them are called benefactors, but not so with you. So among disciples, we're not to treat each other this way, we could say, right? So the kings of Gentiles' lordship, we think of lording over people, tyrannical rule, and even he calls here those in authority of them are called benefactors. This is kind of bringing to mind grace. Like I think the Greek literally means something like friend of the people. But this is often a title that was given to tyrants. Think of